But it's not just anything goes Friday. Professor Harvey Kaye, we just tweeted out our interview with him a year ago today. You can see that and the video. He's got this brilliant book, The Fight for the Four Freedoms. Today is the 76th anniversary of Franklin Roosevelt saying we need to basically reestablish, if we're going to have a world at peace, there need to be some core principles. And here is what Franklin Roosevelt had to say.
In the future days, which we seek to make secure, we look forward to a world founded upon four essential human freedoms. The first is freedom of speech and expression everywhere in the world.
Everywhere in the world, the freedom of speech and expression. It's in our First Amendment. President, I'm not going to say it. Donald Trump has said that he wants to do away with the First Amendment, or he wants to modify it. He wants to go to the kind of British system, which makes it easier for rich people to shut up poor people, basically, is the bottom line. And, which makes perfect sense, given that the guy, was born to privilege and he's been a billionaire his whole life and he surrounds himself with the same. But anyway, free speech all over the world. Here's number two.
The second is freedom of every person to worship God in his own way everywhere in the world.
In other words, not only allowing people to have religion, essentially, and again, this is the First Amendment in a way, but honoring, respecting. No more of this Muslim bashing. I mean, that Donald Trump's rhetoric about Muslims flies, spits in the face of Franklin Roosevelt's second freedom. And these are universal principles. Anyhow, here's the third.
The third is freedom from want, which translated into world terms means economic understanding, which will secure to every nation a healthy, peacetime life for its inhabitants everywhere in the world.
So let's try to create a world at peace where the average working person can actually earn a living. Now, he was already, keep in mind, this is toward the end of his presidency, he was already aggressively working on that here in the United States. I mean, he took us from 30-some-odd% in unemployment down to 12% in just 4 years. The Great Society programs were enormously successful. They still are. Social Security is probably one of the most famous. Unemployment benefits, another one. The minimum wage, another one. I mean, there's a whole lot of pieces of the New Deal that Reagan and his acolytes, and now Trump, have not yet destroyed. And or Paul Ryan really is the main force to destroy the New Deal right now in Congress. But they live on vigorously in many progressive democracies around the world. But we still have to fight the battle here, which is so ironic, because FDR was so sure that he had won the fight here in the United States that he was now saying, let's take this to the world. Here's the fourth freedom.
The fourth is freedom from fear, which translated into world terms means a worldwide reduction of armament to such a point and in such a thorough fashion that no nation will be in a position to commit an act of physical aggression against any neighbor anywhere in the world.
That's a particularly interesting one, because the theory of mutually assured destruction that I don't know if Kissinger came up with, but was a big proponent of, and that largely came out of the end of World War II, came out of the Eisenhower and Kennedy administrations, became basically set U.S. policy by the late 50s, mid 60s, which was, we're going to build as many nuclear weapons as we can. We're going to beat Russia. There was all this, talk about phony intelligence, right? I mean, this is so well documented now that you had a revolving door with defense contractors and intelligence agencies. And the intelligence agencies were hyping, not to mention the right-wing press which was, participating with and funded by, in part, the defense contractors, as they still are. I mean, look at TV and what do you see? An ad for Boeing. It's not like they think that you're going to buy an F-35 tomorrow morning, right? There's a reason for those, and it's to get the press coverage the way they want it. But at that point in time, he was repudiating the idea of mutually assured destruction. This was the opposite of how we have been running the world basically arguably since the Eisenhower administration, or the middle of the Eisenhower administration. And I think this is what alarmed Dwight Eisenhower and what caused him to give his famous farewell address. So, it's serious stuff. So today, the 46th anniversary, Harvey Kaye, one of America's greatest historians, his book, The Fight for the Four Freedoms, I believe it's his most recent book, What Made FDR and the Greatest Generation Truly Great. Although my favorite book of Harvey's still is Thomas Paine and the Promise of America, which is another book really, really worth reading.